I want to go over one of the more memorable scenes in the movie The Godfather. The Godfather was first released on March 24th, 1972, and for all intents and purposes, the movie's about the mafia. However, although the words mafia and Cosa Nostra appear throughout the novel that the movie was based on, they're not mentioned anywhere in the movie. One of the main reasons for this came at the urging of the Italian-American Civil Rights League, which was headed by Joseph Colombo. The iconic scene that I want to discuss is the meeting that took place between Michael Corleone and Virgil Sollozzo. Prior to the meeting, Sollozzo, backed by the Tattaglia family, attempted to hit Vito Corleone, Michael's father and the boss of the Corleone family. Don Corleone had turned down a partnership offer by Sollozzo in the heroin business. The attempt on Don Corleone took place after he purchased oranges at a fruit stand, when two men appeared and ran towards him. After spotting them, he made an attempt to run, but they caught up with him and shot him a few times in the back. Although gravely injured, he survived. The Corleone family, especially Don Corleone's oldest son, Sonny, knew exactly where to lay blame. Not long after, there comes a point where there's a meeting between Sollozzo and Michael, who's not in the family business. Michael was taken to place of Sonny, who was known to be a hothead. Giving a little more background, Michael actually volunteered for the meeting, and when he did so, Sonny laughed. What are you going to do? A nice college boy. Didn't want to get mixed up in the family business. Now you want to gun down a police captain. Why? Because he slapped you in the face a little? What do you think? This is the army where you shoot him a mile away? You got to get up close like this, and bada bing, you blow his brains all over your nice Ivy League suit. You're taking this very personal. The mention of a police captain is referring to someone named McCluskey, who one night outside of Don Corleone's hospital hit Michael in the face. He was a crooked cop that was on the pad. On the night in question, Michael is picked up by Sollozzo and McCluskey. They're obviously heading to a sit-down, and typically, before a sit-down happens, a date and time is picked, as well as a meeting place where all parties show up on their own accord. In the car, Sollozzo tells Michael, "I'm glad you came, Mike. I hope we can straighten everything out. All of this is terrible. It's not the way I wanted things to happen at all. It should have never happened." Michael responded, "I want to straighten everything out tonight. I don't want my father bothered anymore." Sollozzo answered, "He won't be, Mike. I swear on my children, he won't be. But you got to keep an open mind when we talk. I mean, I hope you're not a hothead like your brother Sonny. You can't talk business with him." McCluskey chimes in, "He's a good kid. Sorry about the other night, Mike." After frisking Michael, McCluskey lets Sollozzo know that Michael is clean. He has no weapon. They take Michael to a meeting place, an Italian-American restaurant called Lewis. At the table, it's Sollozzo, Michael, and McCluskey. It's one thing to have a member of law enforcement on a payroll, but he wouldn't be participating in the sit-down. Sollozzo begins by saying he don't like what happened to Michael's face, sort of apologizing. Michael tells him it's okay. Sollozzo continues, "You gotta know, the hit on your father was just business. I have much respect for your father, but your father's thinking is old-fashioned, and you have to understand, I'm a man of honor." First, Sollozzo is permitted to call Michael, who's a civilian, to a sit-down. In actuality, Michael's supposed to have somebody there, another friend, who would be representing and doing the talking. But under no circumstances can a friend, during a discussion, tell a civilian, "I'm a man of honor." That's never happening. Michael acknowledges that he understood. Sollozzo continues, "And you need to be clear why I'm working with the Tattaglia family. All I want is peace. Violence is costly, as you well know. Now let's stop this nonsense." Michael tries to respond in Italian, but switches to English. "What I want, what's most important to me, is that I have a guarantee. No more attempts on my father's life." Sollozzo cuts him off. "What guarantees can I give you, Mike? I'm the hunted one. I missed my chance. You think too much of me, kid. I'm not that clever. All I want is the truth." Sollozzo knew he failed to kill Don Corleone, and he also knew the Corleone family was hunting for him, specifically Sonny Corleone. He wasn't going to give any guarantees, because if the opportunity presented itself to take another shot at killing Don Corleone, he was going to take it. He was also trying to downplay his importance. At that point, Michael asked permission to use the bathroom, where he retrieved the gun that was hidden there by the Corleone family. Back at the table, Sollozzo asks if he was okay, and he tells him, "Okay, I want you to understand something. You're Italian like your father. Your father's in bad shape. Surely you know when he's better, he'll need your help. The fighting has to end. You need to help me so we can end this." While he's speaking, Michael, who's played by Al Pacino, who's performing his role to perfection, has a blank look on his face. Only his darting eyes show his intense thinking of what he's about to do. He's waiting to pick the perfect time, which he'll spring into action. Michael Corleone, as we know, is a civilian who's never done a piece of work before. So as a train could be heard in the background, Michael jumps up and shoots Sollozzo in the middle of his forehead. Then he turns to McCluskey and shoots him in the throat, followed by another forehead shot. In essence, what the Corleone family did was rock Sollozzo to sleep. He may have believed he was rocking Michael to sleep, but he made a big mistake. He offered to meet, but requested that Michael be the one that comes to hear his proposition. Why pick Michael? Because he didn't view him as a threat. This was an error in judgment. You put a gun in a person's hand who's capable of squeezing that trigger, and they're a threat. And add to the equation that you're responsible for shooting that person's father, and they're even a bigger threat. When it comes to protecting people's families, the greater the thirst for revenge. In this situation, Sollozzo thought he was in control. His purpose for the meeting was to remove the threat on his life. And to do that, he would tell Michael anything he wanted to hear. But he showed his hand that he wasn't sincere. Because during the car ride, when Michael said he didn't want his father being bothered anymore, you remember what Sollozzo's response was. He assured Michael by swearing on his kids. However, in the restaurant, when Michael wanted a guarantee that there'll be no more attempts made on his father, Sollozzo sang a much different tune. I just want to quickly mention the super thanks icon beneath this video for anyone who'd like to support this channel. It's greatly appreciated, and thank you. Back to Sollozzo. As I said, he sang a different tune. He went from swearing on his kids to explaining to Michael what guarantees could he give. Basically admitting there wouldn't be no guarantee that there wouldn't be another attempt made on his father. I know it didn't matter what was said because the plan was for Michael to kill him anyway, but the scene accurately depicts the treachery in that life. Sollozzo wanted the truth, but yet wouldn't agree to giving any guarantees. As they say, it's the mob's way or the highway. He admitted and called himself a man of honor. Yet what did he swear on? His children. If a man's kids mean nothing to him, what chance do you think you have? I mentioned earlier about bringing a member of law enforcement to a sit-down. Sollozzo only brought the police captain as a safety precaution. He figured who would try to do something to him in front of law enforcement? That was his protection, having a guy next to him who was authorized to carry a gun, and no one would look to harm a police captain. Nevertheless, another blunderous analyzation by Sollozzo. Because to kill Sollozzo, the cop had to go too. This wasn't some upstanding cop, this was a crooked one. And a crooked cop is just as bad as any other wise guy. So like the Rolling Stones said, every cop is a criminal.